And welcome back, and welcome to Greg Abbott, Republican nominee for governor, Texas Attorney General, of course, and with early voting starting Monday of next week. You're leading in the polls. The conventional wisdom says at this point, when you've got a good, solid lead in the polls, shut up and disappear. And here you are making the circuits and actually submitting to interviews.
Right. I don't believe in conventional wisdom. What I believe in is doing everything I can to connect with the voters of Texas. I care dearly about the Dallas-Fort Worth market, an area where, in fact, I grew up as a kid. And so I want to come back here to where I was growing up and let the people know how I've changed, what I've been focused on, what they can expect from an Abbott administration.
Well, let's talk first of all about the Ebola thing, because certainly this is in everybody's minds right now. And is it a crisis, or is it one of those things that in a month we're not going to be all that worried about?
This is something that must be taken very, very seriously. First of all, with regard to those who've been exposed to Ebola here, we need to make sure we do everything to contain it so it doesn't expand any whatsoever. We need to understand what's going on internationally. This is something that's not going away tomorrow or next week.
Is that a state issue, though, or is it a local county health issue?
It is a national issue and a state issue and a local issue. Nationally, we need to make sure that we are not allowing into the United States people who have Ebola, because we're seeing how easily and quickly it can expand to others. We do have ways here in the U.S. better than in other countries to contain it. But listen, as it grows and explodes, I saw a story last night saying there may be 10,000 new cases of Ebola every single day worldwide. That's very serious, and we need to make sure that if anybody is coming into the country who's been exposed to Ebola, that we are taking measures to either quarantine them or not allow them in, or do whatever it takes to make sure that the people in the United States of America are not exposed to this problem.
I think few people would disagree on that. Let's move on to what we all face every day on the way to and from work and school, which is the roads. And you have promised to somehow restore funding, adequate funding to TxDOT, because I don't know where you're headed next after this interview, but you're probably going to take a toll road. And I think people are fed up with toll roads in Texas.
People are fed up with toll roads, and you may have seen the ad. I know I had it on your station here, that I cut an ad here in Dallas, Texas, at the intersection of I-30 and I-35 on a morning earlier than this, with traffic backed up and a bunch of cars lined up. And I rode past those cars saying even a guy in a wheelchair can go faster than traffic in Dallas, Texas. Elect me and I will get Texas moving again. And I have $4 billion I am adding to building roads in Texas without raising a single penny in taxes, fees, or tolls.
And with the blessing and approval and agreement of the state legislature, of course.
You know, I've been pleased to see the way the state legislature has embraced this idea, because I think everyone is understanding we have way too much traffic congestion. We must do something about it, and my plan really works.
You're a former Supreme Court justice here in the great state of Texas. The U.S. Supreme Court has been intimately involved in some affairs in the state of Texas. As Attorney General, you're going to appeal the stay on the abortion ruling, which is in effect reopening some of the clinics that would have closed under Texas restrictions.
Yeah, kind of is almost the converse. Yeah. The other side, we won at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. We won at the middle court. The other side appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court put a temporary stay on it, meaning they are going to be taking the case. And so the other side appealed. We will be up there arguing that case whenever it gets set for the docket.
Additionally, the court, by its inaction, the U.S. Supreme Court, did you think the court gave a blessing, a tacit blessing to gay marriage, and is that inevitable for Texas? You
know, it's one of the most legally confusing issues for this reason, and that is, in the past, the Supreme Court ruled that in the Windsor case a year and a half ago, the Supreme Court was clear that marriage is an issue that can be determined by the states. And so it's confusing where we stand right now. If the Supreme Court were to apply the same analysis they applied last time, I think they would still leave it to the states. And that's why we will probably be up at the Supreme Court to talk about this in about a year.
Last question, 14 years of Rick Perry, a member of your party, a friend, somebody you've worked with over the years, you've watched him. how can you tell the state of Texas you will not be another Rick Perry?
I bring a completely different perspective. I bring a perspective of a person who's in a wheelchair, who understands the challenges that people face in life, and I will work to help others in the state of Texas rise above those challenges. I bring a unique family culture. My wife is Hispanic, and my family is multicultural. My wife, in fact, will be the first Hispanic First Lady in the history of the state of Texas. And so I'm going to be there fighting for every single person, regardless of race, background, religion, making sure that the prosperity that we have in this great state will elevate even higher. A third way, substantively, if I could, one last thing, and that is I have high vision for education in Texas. The time has come when we're number one for jobs and energy and so many other things. Texas should be number one in the nation for educating our children. And I want 5 of the top 10 public colleges and universities to be right here in Texas, with UTD being one of them.
Okay. Thanks very much, General. We appreciate it. Remember, early voting begins Monday. Hard to believe that after this long run, we're already there. Thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
We've got
Thank
more
you.
to come here on Good Day.